Hello there, my name is Vladimir. In this video, we're going to answer a question. Does the video AI from Topaz worth its money? Does it perform better than most big name applications? So what we're going to do is to check on the footage. Can it upscale very good? Can it have frame interpolation done well? And can it remove camera shakiness properly? Of course, it utilizes AI technology, so we'll see how the AI will work in this case using them, so you understand how they work and what AI model the best use it in which scenario. So we're going through all of the settings. This video may be long, but please stick around. I guarantee you it will worth it for you. Okay, let me go ahead and explain how we're going to test this, because it's important to understand what we're comparing. So for this, I went to DaVinci Resolve, and I have my original footage, which was shot on a 4K, 30 frames per second, and we shot this in Galaxy Edge Disneyland. By the way, if you like this, I put link down below for my another channel. It's where we travel, we take all this footage in different theme parks, where we build lightsabers, robots, and other stuff. Just have it fun like Mario Land. So be sure you go ahead and check that down below, just when I have free time. But anyway, so right here we have our footage, and what I did, I took this footage and I export after in DaVinci as the 1080p, 720p, so a smaller size. As well, I exported with a 16 frames per second, so much less frame per second. This way I can process inside the Topaz Video AI, import back, and we can side per side compare original and one is restored and see how well it's worked. As well, you'll notice right here I have a different type of footage from like Universal Studio, where we have it shaking camera in the dark, and other ones. Then we'll go to test how well actually it will perform to not allow my camera shaking. Okay, how well it will work with Topaz AI. And you know what, let's begin by first going to Topaz AI, and for those who does not know how it's work, I will try to also go step by step to explaining. The one, when you start with Topaz AI, you'll notice you'll have it like this empty screen. You will need put it footage, and it's accepted video file, as well it's accepted sequence of the images, and sequence if you have it separate images, which work very good for those who creating AI animations. So for this, we'll take one file, and this is original 4K, 30 frames per second. And you can see right here, we have it, our image, which display on two screens. Let's go very fast over our UI so we understand areas what we're speaking about. On your left side, you will have it, your original image. On the right side, you will have a preview of the image that is already pre-processed. The different, if you use before Gigapixel, that is already will render for you automatically if you select. Here you actually will need click preview button down below to be sure that it's rendered. And it's reason because it's take quite a bit time to create preview, and as you're working on this, so you'll click, and it does not need to automatically to reduce some attention or resource usage on your computer. Okay, this is our main two working windows. On the top, we'll have it our usual information with drop-down file where you can import or close inputs. And you saw I closed all this. This is what they call inputs, those two windows. We also have it our preference for the applications, what we'll look a little bit later in our video. We also have it our node model manager. This is will help you if you create any new models or models was updated, you can go and download them. Don't worry if you download here, anytime when you use new model or model was updated, the Topaz Video AI will check online and download those models as you need it. Okay, next we have it edit, where we have it our different presets we can create it, and presets will go drop down on the right menu. We'll look in a second. And as well, all this necessary preview, all necessary type of the marking videos for the previews or other elements. So you can have it like edit on the video. For example, you don't need process full video. You can specify what area of the video you want to process. And it's very nice because if you want this element remove stabilization from here, or you want zoom on this, so you can specify and just work on those segments. In a view, we have it our normal preview for the windows, with a different type of the elements. Of course, if we have it like, for example, 100%, you can see we can preview this very well. And by the way, to drag around, just click your mouse and you can drag around to look. And this should look, of course, identical because this is both 4K. We don't look on this one. Next, we have it in our process. And by the way, all of these commands, every command you access it, they will also available on your side as well. So this is just faster way to access with shortcuts or just with mouse click. We have our export if we need it. And as I said, there is export right here, and you notice export also on the bottom button. So two ways. We have command prompt and benchmark, just check on your system. And speak about system, they recommend to use it for you, at least if used with the NVIDIA, it's RTX 3000 models. You can work on a little bit lower models, but just keep in mind it will be maybe a little bit slow. Okay, you have your account. When you purchase, you can register. Additional plugins, and you notice you have it After Effects of DaVinci Resolve plugin, which is kind of nice, but it's still being beta and may have a little bit problem. But I do like it because I work in DaVinci Resolve and I can directly plug in. And of course, our help, where you have your license information, access to the documentations, and all additional information. So very simple, not so much stuff. On the middle, we have our work screens. Below them, you'll notice we have our timeline, where you can navigate through all of your images. As well, you have your check mark in and out for the footage you want to process, specifically by the timestamp. You also have your companion mode, or you have assistance type of the preview feed, and you have your preview pre-processing. It will be enabled when we set specific mode, so you can actually go ahead and change this. And on the bottom, you will have it as we're processing as batch files. We're processing multiple different files, so they will see on the bottom those ones will pre-process will start showing you. On the right side, we have it our menu with accessible different type functionalities we can do as well. First, it's a presets. It's fast and easy way to do, so you can open and just select what you needed. For example, slow motion. If we select, you'll notice it's selected frame interpolation for us and preset. So technically, you can create your own customization how you want to apply it, save it as preset, and with one click, just apply this to image, and you can start processing. So you can create new presets. You can add, remove, or modify your presets. Down below, okay, let me go no presets right now. We'll disable this. Down below, we have information of the current file, and you notice right here it says it's a 3840, so it's a 4K with 30 frames, 29.97. It's NTSC, so we can modify input if you need it to specifically. If you have any specific information you want to modify for the input files, you can apply it there. Okay, and of course we can crop our image. That is type of the editing. If you need more focus on one, for example, if I want to go crop image, and right here, for example, I want to go and take just to this guy, like right here. So I can go crop. Okay. And you can say I crop to the image. Now it is changed my image, but I also can upscale now or change my rate from here. So this way it's applied some rudimentary video editing for your functionality. Down below, now we have it kind of more fun stuff. We have it our stabilizations. If we enable this, has allowed us to work with this stabilization on the frames when it's shaky frames. We'll look on this on specific where we're going to check this. Motion, the blur, this is if you have it fast motions, it mostly happen on the if you go 30 frames or below, you'll notice when you move some object, you'll have this motion blur. So this is to remove some of this motion blur. They also apply in combination, for example, with the frame interpolations, because some frame interpolations will add motion blur. So in this case, you can apply more than one to this to reduce some of this blurriness. Frame interpolation. So what is happening with this? If we look on the frames, you'll notice you have it probably subject. And what's happening when subjects start moving, you kind of move this subject around. But problem is happening with this, you can see right here, frame interpolation, sometimes you have this kind of ghosting effect. And For the clean image, what you want to do, you want to actually have it the clean frame. And what I was meaning by clean frame, look like right here, see the object moving, and it is no ghosting. So this is properly frame interpolation. It's not just take one frame, blend with another on top, meaning blending like this, where we have the ghosting. So blending frame one on top another one. That is the simplest frame interpolations. The more sophisticated will have a cleaner edge in everything, but that is require analysis for us to do on the image. So, and that's what happened with frame interpolations. And we need them when we want to slow down our image or we don't have enough. For example, if this footage was shot on 16 frames per second, it will look very choppy, because we usually will look about 24 frames, 30 frames. It's what usually gives us nice motion, kind of with little bit blur inside. So it's kind of very nice speed. A little bit higher will give it us a little bit more choppy look, but general this is. And also if we want to add frames for like slow motion moving, we want to have like 120 frames. Those frames does not exist. So this frame interpolation will work with this. But you'll notice if we go with frame interpolations, we'll have it all these different type of the models that work differently. And the models, it's AI when it's analyzed type of image and apply specifically. Does it need to apply a little bit more motion blur? Does it need to apply more sharpness? So this is system is how it works. And we'll look on this. And enhancement is including like removing from interlaced footage and interlaced when it was filming every other line. You maybe remember, probably you don't even kind of see that footage anymore, but it's from older type. So when you start work with old footage, you probably want to do. And this is specify what type you have it progressive. Every LAN was scanning, or you have it interlace it. Also have a different type of the models for the enhancement, and we'll look on those models what they can perform, and as well additional parameters if you need it. Notice it's have parameters after, or you can manually adjust them, or semi after, so it will adjust all the teeny tiny adjustments automatically, but you can specify how much of this enhancement you want to be work with this. And of course we have our film grain. And film grain work very well to give you this feeling of retro look or hide some of the composition details, which I used all the time. So and right here you can see you can kind of modify. Notice as we select the grain, your enhancement is locked. So some of them combinations you can use it separately, or some only allowed specific at the time. Okay, and down below we have it our preview and export, where we have it as output video or image sequence. If you want separate image separated, you can go from here. Also type of encoder by default H264. It is will be for 4K and higher, so we can use this one or below. Also profile high. The usually we'll just leave it as default. Things what I want to pay attention, it is this container which says MOV movie or MP4. It's type of what extension of file you want to do it. Keep in mind that Topaz Video AI does support all different types. It support Apple Res, and it support all of these different formats. You can do it, which actually very nice. So you can work with all these different types of this. And of course you have your LUT, if you have any LUT available. LUT is the color space, so you can apply specific coloring like old footage or other things. And next you have your export, and when you click export, it's ask you where do you want to save, so you can select your location. Technically it's look a lot, but it's very simple because it's not a lot of options here, and AI taking or the algorithm inside application take a lot of heavy weight on this. Okay, hopefully you stuck with me through all this boring overview with everything, and now we're going to fun part. And here we start with stabilizations. But before we start on stabilizations, let's look closer. What is stabilization of the image? So let's look on different type of the shaking we can have with camera, which help us to identify what algorithm we can use it and how we can fix this problem. So most common of them, what we think is a shaking up, down, left, right, and maybe a rotational. And those ones can be fixed with the extending elements or cropping in on specific subjects. There are actually other ones much worse type of the shaking, and this is a tilting, when your camera go tilt up, down, left and right. And reason it's why it's worse because we have a perspective change. So as we tilting, we change our perspective. There are fix for this in mechanical type. When you have it lens, like image lens with stabilization, we have it lens inside floating up and down and help us to control this, or with the gimbal as well. But this is just change perspective. So for example, if I go up and down, my mechanical will hold it. But if your camera, like for example GoPro, or maybe you have a cell phone, does not have it, that mechanical image stabilization, we need to work with this inside the software in post-processing. And this is where the Topaz Video AI shines with readjusting this. And also another ones which does not affect as much, but it may happen back and forth a little bit shaking. We don't have it that much, but it may affect sometimes focusing as well. You may need it resharpen a little bit your image. And as we speak about image stabilizations, we actually have 3 types of stabilization we can apply it. The one that is oldest one, it's called mechanical. And this is example. You can see right here we have a gimbal, and we'll put full camera in its kind of rotation and adjusting. So we have it for the full frame. You also can have it like for your cell phone. Small gimbal, put a cell phone here and it's work. Or some of them even come with a camera like this DJI, and you turn it on and you can see right here camera come with a gimbal and stabilizations already pre-built. This is kind of external. Also another type of stabilizations, mechanicals, it can be or inside the lens, like image stabilization, and that's what happened. We have a middle lens which is floating in magnetic field and allowed to use stabilization. Obviously, because size of the lens, it does not provide that big range of stabilization as compared to this. See how big motions on this can be applied. And one more mechanical stabilizations can be inside the camera on the sensor stabilizations. So for example, with this Canon R5, its stabilizations happen here inside the sensor stabilize and inside the lens. So it's kind of double stabilizations, and they work very well together. Another type of stabilization is called electronical, because it's happen inside the camera or on your computer. It does not involve any mechanical parts. What is actually happen, it's when we shoot image, it shoot quite a bit large size. Well, let me give you an example. Right here, you see me, you see like about this. Let me expand this. And you see all the stuff around that I actually don't want to see in my footage. So let's go break back. And for that reason, it's what called cropping, just specifically on a subject. Some cameras does this very well. For example, GoPro. Just look on this footage when it was shot on roller coaster, when we was left, right, shaking and turning around, spinning, do all this stuff. But it's performed very well. With the price, we lost some of the footage, because that is what happened with the electronical stabilizations. It's need lose some of the footage. But besides stabilization inside the camera, we can stabilize the image afterwards in post-production, and that is have quite a bit nice benefits. Okay, so let's preview our original footage, and this was shot in the Universal Studios Simpsons Land. By the way, if you like it, again, check that channel with my videos. It's fun time I had there. And if you notice, let me play, this is footage right here. You can see how it shake, and it's utilize all those shakes that I said before. It's have it up and down, tilt, even rotation, so it's like perfect. And it was shot on a Canon R8 in a dark, and Canon R8 does not have it stabilizations of the sensor. However, it was stabilizations in the lens for this. And then we'll take this footage, put it inside our Topaz AI. Let's enable our image stabilizations, and notice right here we have 2 methods. We have one that called after crop, and one called is full frame. And as we speak before, the after crop, it will take image and crop size around as needed. As we crop around, you'll notice string. Strings can be from 0 to 100, and it's meaning 0. Almost no stabilizations, will be same image. and 100, it will be very stable, but cropping will increase. So example, let's go a little bit more to the end, like rough 0, and we'll go ahead, click preview. As it's processing, it takes sometimes a little bit time, but you'll notice on the bottom right here, we have our original footage, and it's showing me stabilization preview as it's going. It's take about 7, 6, 5, 4 minutes, so it's not that bad, but again, we using like no string at all on our preview image. Okay, it should be done now, and we can preview. It's look similar things. Okay, now let's apply a little bit more. Notice it's no cropping at all, same size as before, and we'll go bring to original 50%. We don't use any other below. I'll explain in a second what it is. And let's click also preview 12 seconds. I think we can go to in and out. Let's look on all preview. I have enough memory for this. We'll click. It will take about 20 seconds. And now when it's done, we can look on this. Notice what's happened right here, how much it will cut off. It's take a little bit longer. What I done instead, I rendered them and I put it inside DaVinci Resolve. So right here we can preview them. And first one, if I'm right, this will be our crop one. Okay, let me go move a little bit closer. Notice on this edge right here how much it will cut off. See, this is cut off, this is original, and this cut off. You see how it's a little bit zoom because it's cut in zoom. The one thing with cropping in a 4K or other thing, if we're using 4K and we crop in, we're losing pixels because it's need increase inside, make blur. So, but if we're using 1080p, then it will be okay because we already have too many pixels. So it will be better if you're going down. But usually, I almost everything do right now in 4K, so it's kind of working. Okay, so let's again go from beginning. And you can see it's rolling, it's shaking, it's going up and down. Okay, let's go now, go back, and we'll re-enable one with our. And you can see it does a little bit better. It's cropping, but it's much less shaking. Again with shaking. Quite, yeah, it's almost like hard to watch this with shaking, I know. And this is with a simple cropping, non-shaking, which is actually, if you have it, some other ones will help. Okay, and you can see much stable. I did notice some little bit distortion. You remember what I says about tilting, parallel distortion, so I saw something like right here happening as well. And this is just a simple after crop select. Of course, if we're going very stable, we can go to 100% on this. Okay, and I think that will work. And by the way, when you set 100% and I want to export this, so we'll go click export as. And as you click export, you'll notice on the bottom you have it your line with progress. This is not a very big clip, it's short ones, but it is take a little bit time. Okay, and so we have it our footage inside the DaVinci Resolve, so we can compare. This is again, this is our original footage, and let's check. Just go right here and let's check this crop. You can see how much it is cropped in. Look on this. We lost a lot of information, like on the sides, a lot of. Okay, so right here, preview, and you can see the image. Look on these distortions on the side. You saw how it's going parallel. This is we need to use the enhance mode to fix some of this. But again, let's look preview again, and you notice, see the wobbling going on. This is what even with cropping, you remember, says it's tilting, because cropping does not necessarily help with a tilt problem. So this is it's what actually happened here. And we can see this little bit wobbling happen in the beginning, but generally afterwards its cropping start working kind of okay. To reduce some of this, what they call jelly moshing, we actually have right here. It's called jelly moshing applied correction. So if we apply on this, how many passes. This will look for some of that parallax effect, jelly motion, and we'll fix it. So let's go ahead and I'll go to extreme. Okay, it's the best things to look. Sometimes you go to the extreme, and from extremes you start work down. By the way, the rolling shutters, it's what's happening because it's scanning of the line happening in your digital media. Sometimes it's look a little bit weird. And what you can see rolling, like this example right here, this is normal image with a shutter. See how the straight those propellers in, and it's when rotating you have this kind of like wee stuff going on around on the propellers. On the back you can see this is rolling. It's because how the lines is scanning and putting the propeller rotating too fast for the shutter. So this is what's happening. To avoid this, it's more mechanical things. Sometimes electronical can be fixed as well, but you also can fix some of this effect in the app, and that's what it does here with the Topaz Video AI. It's analyzing the frames, and if it see any rolling effect, then it will fix. We don't have it currently this here at all, but we do have it some jelly motion. Okay, so here's our example with 100% on everything, which is total will take to the extreme. Okay, and you can see right here we still have some effect, but it's much less, so it does jelly reducing. What I would recommend to do in this case, never use it 100%. Because it is extreme. I usually to do just to see how much it can push it. You probably want to go to cropping about 50 as default, and as well if you have some effect of the parallaxing, take down to about 2-3. This is probably the best effect you will achieve with this. And right here as example, we have it our gel effect. Let's scroll down. And you can see it's actually perform much better. It is still feel it's handheld, and it's most time it's what I wanted when I film like they're on a field. You know, you're going to the theme park, you do all the stuff. You want to have this feel. It's not stationary. It's give it the personality to this. And of course, this is our original. Let's go back again. Look on this. This is our original. Look how shaky it is. It's crazy. Yes. Going with this footage, it's a shaky, it's got this other kind of the stuff, and of course right here we have it with our stabilizations, and not 100% stabilizations, and with a jelly effect applied, and you can see it's much smoother, little bit nicer. It still have this effect, but it is nice to watch, pleasant. So this is how we work with this stabilization overall. If you notice, we have on our stabilizations after crop, we have it our ruling shutter effect. I explained we don't need to use it right now, but it's what it does. We have it our jelly motion, mostly for this parallax effect. To remove it, we want to enable. Okay, so this is after crop. The next one we have it is full frame. Full frame is actually very interesting. It does not crop. It utilizes AI, and how it does. Let's show a little bit example. So right here I am in Photoshop, and for example I have an image, and remember video is just sequence of those images. And what's happening if my camera is rolling around, like for example right here, see how it's not straight. What it does, and I'm going to just straight out line. Look at this. So I'm straightening up. What's happening, I have it all of these huge areas. Yes, I can utilize just a little bit crop in to keep it our same aspect ratios, okay, as before. Okay, let's go right here, and you can see the image, but I will still have those elements. I need to fill up these corners, because if I don't do it, they will look empty. So what a full frame or AI, it's analyze. It's like Photoshop content aware fill, and fill this. Let's go ahead and press enter, and here you go. You look on these corners. That is amazing. Okay, and this is what done. It's a Firefly Photoshop AI, but it's a similar things done in the Topaz Video AI. But here's a little bit but okay. So we look on this. If I want to do another frame, this is what's happening. Look how it's changing. You see how it's a little bit changing behind, because AI try to analyze and create frames. But if I have it multiple frames, it's mean one frame have this, second frame have this look, just mostly look on these corners. Right here, just check this corner. So one frame you have a this type look, next you have a this look, after you have a this look, and you have this jiggering going on. So this is what the biggest problem with some AIs. If we look with a Topaz, what it does with full frame, it's analyzing multiple frames. And when analysis is completed, it is try keeping all consistency with all of them. The minus with this, if we do too much string and let's try to add too much, it can create a blurry effect, because if we work with 4K footage or other things, it sometimes does not have enough resolution to create it, so you may end up with those edges a little bit blurry, which is in some cases not bad. Like on this footage, it's a dark, and if it's a little blurry, you don't actually see, and mostly your attention will keep it on the middle. Okay, so let's create our full frame 50%. Notice right here, as I said before, if model is not there, it says model is loading or loaded or preloaded, so it will take some time if you don't have it. Okay, so right here we have our full frame render, and our first one we're going to view, it is without any stabilizations. Just to remind you, remember, we have it rotational on the camera, we have it tilting and just normal shaking. So this is what happened here. Okay, so right now let's go ahead and we'll have it 50%, which is most likely it's what we're going to use. Just 50% work the best. And you can see it did stabilize. It's look much nicer with the same resolution. Let me put it this way. Look, before and after, you can see it does not change the resolution. Change a little bit positioning right there, but it is same resolution. That's what beauty about this, and it's stabilized. Okay, so before, you can see how it's shaking, just shaking slightly. Okay, and this is after. You know what, let's do split screen so we can preview how that does. But before I do split screen here, I want to show you with 100%. And again, almost never you want to do 100%, but it will show, because you can see parallaxing was playing a little bit, but resolution is same. Look on this, how stable it is, this footage. I mean, seriously, this is before. You see how shaky? Okay. And let's turn on, and this is after. Same resolution, same everything. This is incredible how we did this. Good job. Okay, let's go ahead and create split screen and we can preview that. Split screen and we can preview. You can see both screens, how the stability going on each of them, how stable this, and this is shaking. Okay, this is 50%, and let's do 100% on this one. Oh, it's definitely on the beginning. Watch this on the beginning, how much is different. How much this versus stability there. Same resolution, same everything, but it's a huge difference. And by the way, if you're interested, you can do very good stability inside the DaVinci Resolve, but it's a little bit harder. It's actually, you need to go inside your node management, and you need from here to go and collect and do all this other stuff. So it is a little bit more intense per each. You can achieve very good result, but it is not compare how easy drag and drop almost inside the Topaz AI. And of course, you can process a lot of the batch processing, so I can take a bunch of videos loading there, says okay, this is stabilizations, and go and it's give me output. So it's much easy to go to do that way. To upscale our video with same, we'll take it one, and right here is I'm taking 720 by 30 frames. That's what we're going to do, and you can see it's quite a bit blurry. If we got closer to preview, it is definitely not 4K, so it's very blurry images, and we want to upscale. To upscale in our view, I want to use it any preset. However, you do have it right here. You can go and select upscale to 4K, which will set for you automatically the resolution and keep it frame rates. And most important, will go also to the enhancement and set preferably enhancement for this specific video. So as a preset, just general, let's go click preview, and I want to see how well it does, but we're going to do this manually as well. And even here you can see it's quite a bit impressive. So if we look closer, you can see how sharper the image look right there. It is soft on the left, it's original, yes, and it's very soft on the right. We have it much better sharpness and everything. We do have some of those bars add on the side to have this aspect ratio, but we can fix this. All right, here let's go click preview, and you can see it is quite a bit impressive. Look on the side of this grid. Okay, let's go ahead and set to preview 100%. And with 100%, you can see, look on the grid, how it is very distortion and sharp and nice in this area. So it did very good job. And of course, we have a DOF on the back, but it's keep it all the blurriness. It's what we need, depth of field, so it's keep it very nice, because this is subject, that's what we're focusing on. And you can see it does perform actually good and nice sharp image. Okay, so before actually I switched this, we did touch a little bit on enhancement, and I just want to point couple things here. One, notice we have it in progressive video type, is what we're using right now. You most unlikely will use interlace. It's old television type, but if you restore videotapes, you maybe want to use interlace if it's used. But what's important, it is the AI model right here it's using, and it's called Proteus. Proteus model, it's a generic kind of can do all type of model what they're developing. And this work very well to enhance on the reducing noise, work with lower type of the images. So if you don't know what model or you want generic, use it. Proteus probably one nice to go. And as you select Proteus, you have additional parameters under. After, it's of course Proteus will determine optimal settings based on 20 frames. So it's a kind of relook 20 frames, and based on this will determine the best settings. Of course, we can change this to another one relative to auto, which it is determine optimal settings, but it's in factor with how much you're sliding. So for example, if I go right here and it says I want way more sharpness, so I set up more on the sharpness, then model will balance with other things around this as well. And of the other ones, you have it manual, with everything you can control by yourself, all slides. So I would probably, with all of these additional options, I would recommend at least stick to relative to auto. So it will determine all this position, but you can also says, what is your focus on? Do you want more sharpened image, or do you want de-halo, just remove like edges, coloring, or do you want to do more details, pop-up? It will work more with the contrast on the edges probably. So you can adjust all of these options inside if you want it, but overall auto work just great. Next one from Proteus, we have it, if I'm right, Iris, yes. And Iris is a general enhancement model that reduce noise and compression or artifacts. So if you have an older MP file, MP4, some older file which was heavily compressed, you may see like those squares around. So this is to work more with those type of files. Next is our next one, that one, which is called HQ denoise. So this is one work for the progressive, the one details and high resolution input footage, and it is run with the digitalizations actually very good, and it's kind of avoiding to add additional AI scaling. I will say mostly if you upscale HQ and some details does not look right or too high noise, you probably want to use it. Try this model. The one on the beginning, of course, the our model, the Prometheus, will do this on stylizations as well. New one, Artemis. This is general enhanced model that have a good balance between details, noise, artifacts reduction. So this is more balancing model. In some cases you can achieve same in Proteus, but this is more automated in some ways. And of course you have your high quality, low quality, so you can select a little bit better. Think about this as a presets in some cases. Gaia is our next, which is more focusing on improve already high quality, but it's also focused on computer generated images, so it's more optimized towards less texturing, we can say, or less kind of this effect. So it's more focusing on enhancing like CG graphics, you know, with very smooth shades going on and other things. Okay, and our other model, it's for the sharpening, and it's there. Sharpening enhanced details files with 4 parameters to generate control. So right here we have fixed compressions, you know, those compression artifacts, sharpness, reduce noise. So you have a little bit limitation, but also you can introduce additional noise. And additional noise introducing, actually it's very helpful when you have it some parallax distortions or other things. It's kind of make this interesting effect to hide them out. General, I will say the Prometheus probably the one to go every other model, but if you work with them like computer animations, you want to upscale or anything, go with the Gaia. This is kind of will work more towards that. Okay, so this is our enhancement. Now let's look just general what we can do. If we're going without any preset, our input 720 by 480, output resolutions where you can select upscale just by the number 2-4 times, and sometimes you want to increase. In some results I saw people, they will upscale like to the 2, after take some video upscale again to the 2, so they have it step by step. This maybe work for me personally. I found the Topaz Video AI just handle fine by itself if you go directly, and from 720 to 4K resolution work fine. 8K take longer and it's produce more artifacts. I wouldn't recommend to go from 720 to 8K. You can do transitional step and see if it will work for you to go to 4K and after upscale again to 8K, see if it's work. But I found sometimes it's creating artifacts, and I'll show later what kind of artifacts it can create. And of course you can have it your resolution, your custom resolution. Notice because we change aspect ratio, and sometimes it can create bars for you. Okay, let's go next. We have it our pixel type, and usually this is square pixel, or for the NTC it will be different, but right now we just square pixel, keep it different. Same cropping settings, what you remember on the side. One crop to fill, it will take image and stretch to fill it. And of course we have it our letterbox, it's on the side. So if we say the crop to fill on this, you'll notice, let's go run preview so you can see what's going on. And here as a result you can see it does cut, it's created sharp image. It's nice upscaling, but it is using some information, so it's up to you. If you want to have it pure like output, in this case 4K with proper aspect ratio, you can do this, or you can try to do in other applications and zoom in or whatever scale by yourself. But remember, then you will again will start blurring out because you will remove size increasing. So right here is kind of inside the mind biggest withdraw, it just do automatically cut there, so you may lose some content and maybe you want to keep it. Next, after this we have it after crop, and by the way, here's we can preview. You can see how much it's cropped. On the left it's our original, and you can see right here, see like the eyes was cutting there. See like right here, it's what I was saying right there, you cut eyes off all the way. So if I done by myself, I probably will put it down and crop more on the bottom than on the top, so manually maybe work better for you, but automatic it will just go in the center and you may lose some stuff around. Okay, so next we have under this, it's a frame rate, and this is you can still manipulate here frame rate, and if you select, you'll notice in some cases you will have it frame interpolations enable if you changing any frame rate. So if you stick to original, the original, you have it frame interpolations won't be turning on, so you can do this way. However, if you start modifying, you will have it frame interpolations turn on, and then you can work around this. So we'll look in a second. Let's look on some frame interpolations as well. But before, let me jump back to our test, and right here you can see I have an original file, the enable, and we'll go just put it upscale. So this is was the 4K image, and it actually does perform. It's have a very good and nice resolution on 4K. And if we experimenting trying, how about I'm going to create one which is upscale to 4K, and I'm going to improve details, sharpness, and I will pop up anti-aliasing the blur. So just maximize the sharpening. It probably will go overboard here, but it's very good to compare how with manual settings for upscaling will work for us. Okay, and here's our full preview. So this is original one file, and you can see 4K. It is a little bit jaggery because I'm done, but over it looks sharp. And you know what? Let's go set to 100% actual view. And you can see it's actually have it not bad, like on a mask right here, details, we can stop, we can preview. Okay, let's go ahead. This one is 720 to 4K manual upscaling. So we're going to try to do that. Okay, and you'll notice it does create some black frames, like right here you see how much it's cut off compared to other ones. So it is a little bit this way, pre-cut I think. But general, we can look right there on those details, and you know what, let's preview. So yeah, it definitely, cut, and remember we have it 4K upscale, so it does create those bars that we don't need it. We could take and zoom in just to match, like right there, I think, yeah. I think this should match this. Kind of. Okay, and then we can preview. It does have a little bit right there. This is grid. It's what I'm looking. I'm looking for the grid, how well it is compared to others. So before and after, it does lose some detalization. It always will happen, but you can see it's actually not bad at all. Okay, now we have next 1080. Of course, 1080 have it more this, but just to compare, we'll have a 1080 upscale to 4K. And right here, let's disable before and after, and you can see this actually have it very nice right there. You see on the grid. Let's look closer on the grid. This is original, this after, so it does have it. Actually, I almost say it's a look alike. It does not have it any different. So AI upscale did great job on upscale to 4K on this. And the gloves, we can look on the gloves right here. The details. Okay, it's original, and this one. Okay, where's my other ones? The gloves. There you go. There's our gloves. Yeah, you can see, look on this details. It's actually very nice, very sharp, good details. So the next one will be more interesting because next it is 720. I did upscale to the 4K, but we was using also some of the details enhancement. And I already straight out can see, look on this. You can see right here, look on the artifacts, of course, at upscale versus original. You see, we lost details. Yeah, it did okay upscale, but if we get closer to some detalizations, of course, upscaler won't do this great job like this, like original. Okay, and let's zoom out. But yeah, we can have it a little bit more sharper. So it did not bad job, but we lost details as it was expected. You know, when you upscale from 720 to 4K, it is expected to lose some details. But overall in the image, if we look out of all, it's without zooming in, it's actually did a very good job on upscaling. Again, let's look on some of this. And remember, I taken some restoration of detalizations high, which is always create these artifacts. It's almost always, so you don't want to do 100%, but it will create some of this. But usually what I do, I crank up, and after I kind of reduce them a little bit down. Okay, so let's recap a little bit about our upscale. So when we do upscale, you will have an enhancement options is on, which using all these different AI models. I don't know why they don't call this upscale, because probably can apply enhancement not to just upscale, but the footage restorations. If you go from interlace to other ones, or you have a very highly compressed file and you want to restore some of this information there, so then you will be using enhancement. But it does perform very well in this case. Okay, I hope you still be with me, because we have another things to going over another big portion. It's a frame interpolations. And by the way, if you found the Topaz Video AI, it's very good program. It's what I found. And by the way, I purchased by myself this application, so they do not give me money or sponsor, but I do appreciate if you click on the link. If you like this video, I do affiliate with them, so I make a little bit if you purchase by using my link. But if you don't, it's fine with me, but I do appreciate it. So link will be down below. If you like it, if you think you want to give it a try, it's 30 days free trial. Just click down there, get it, see if you like it, if it's work for you. For me, it definitely worked, because when I work with different type of size of footage, different frame rate, and you know what is funny, because I always try to set all frame rate exactly the same, but I always mess up with something, and some footage will going with 30 frames, some going 60 frames, so it's like, oh, nightmare. So then I'll going in a video, drop here very fast, just drop it, do as batch processing, and they're all same footage, so I can work exactly the same in my other editing program. It saved me a lot of time. Frame interpolations allowed us to insert frames between other frames. Usually we can do this to slow down footage, or maybe it's create a little bit jerky. For example, if we do like with AI animations, many times we utilizing 12 frames per second just to save time. So in this case, it's very nice to put it frames between them. And if you remember image before, the interpolation sometimes will overlay in a cheap software or easy, just like make a blend between different images. So what we want to do is create a little bit correctly, a bit more sharper image. And inside the Topaz Video AI, we can do this very easy with frame interpolations options. So let's enable this, extend, and right here you can notice you can apply different modes. Usually it won't be enabled if you output in exactly the same frame rate, but if you change frame rate, like going from the higher to lower, or most important from lower to higher frame rate, then it will be enabled. Example, right here I have it Mario. Yes, it is Super Mario Land at Universal Studio, and it does have some panning effect, but it's maybe too fast for me. I want to slow down. I want to feed this maybe in a text I want to say, or music. So for this, I'm going to increase frame rate. And slow motion work this way. It is still producing this amount of frames per second. So for example, if I watch footage of the 4 seconds and want to have it 30 frames versus 120, it will be playing only 4 seconds. What we can modify is add frames, and after increase the length of this. So for example, we'll still have it 30 frames per second, but now instead of 4 seconds, we will have it 6 or 8 seconds. Okay, so for this, right there, you can see we have originals, and we can modify. We can take it down frames or increase. So I'm going to 120 frames. Increase there, and notice now we have it options. We have it first go slow motions, and if we're going down, we can actually say how much slow motions we want, which will affect our timeline. And also we have it a different type of models. Usually we have it for 5, but technically 2 of them will be faster versions of this. So we'll kind of have it almost about 3 different type of this. And our first, if we look down, it's have it Apollo, and Apollo specializes on non-linear type and a slightly blurry images input. So it's generate 8 interpolation frames and run to create it. So it will analyze those frames by creating them and also work. Notice it's also have the fast mode, Apollo fast mode, which is work a little bit faster in some cases. Okay, let me clarify this, because in some cases it will work faster, in some it will have at the same time, but it is create a little bit work, but it's produce less quality. So it's okay maybe for some footage if you like on a background or this and you just struggle on a time, but then you can create with using faster, so it will produce fast, but its quality won't be there. So if you want for better quality, stick with Apollo one. And it does work a little bit faster than Chronos, but Chronos in some cases a little bit better on motion blur as a creating. So the Apollo will be our first one. The Chronos, it's our by default, and that's using it is generate frame interpolations suitable for the FPS frame per second conversion. So if you're doing like a change from 30 to 24, and most important from 30 to 120, we probably want to use it Chronos because it will analyze a little bit better. It is little bit decreases in linear and how many frames is generated in preview. So it's slower, but I think it's produced a little bit better. And of course the Chronos faster. General, it is specialized on the fast motions with larger change between frames. And what I was meaning by large change between frames, if we go look like example, if you're doing wrong ones, okay, let me go look right here. Watch on his hand. You see his hand going, and look, boop, hand is gone. You see, coming and gone. This is what happened when it is with a motion and using like chrono, not chrono fast. For example, with changing, so it says tick, and hand is just disappear, because it does add properly frames and try AI generating on frames. It will create some of those artifacts, and as we click a little bit closer, you'll notice sometimes it does have a little bit funny, like right here with the finger motions, you can see it's applied. So if you have it close up, if you have the bigger object or anything, you want probably use it chrono fast in this case. And it's kind of a little bit confused for me, because Apollo and Apollo fast, it's been fastest, faster render. But in chrono, it's not meaning it's faster processing, it's mean faster action there. So I hope it makes sense. Okay, Chronos, just generic, you want to use it, and chrono fast, if you have it some faster moving, so it will detect a little bit better. Otherwise, you will have these kind of, disappearing, morphing arm, just like whoop, it's morph away. So that is what will happen. Okay, so right here we can select different types of the jobs, and of course we have another one's new one. Ion, it's the same what we had before, a little bit more on details, paying. And if I'm right, this is a new model was introducing recently, and we'll go and test and compare that model as well with other ones. Okay, so let's do this. Right here we have this image on create. We want to have it our speed and how slow down. So let's go ahead, and it says I want slow down by 8 times slower. So we have it chrono fast, use it for this, because remember the problem, duplicate frames, if we find they will replace duplicate frames, which is fine. And sensibility is work on removing duplicate frames, so we don't have it kind of look like almost jerky. So this is sensibility, it's going towards our frame. So we'll just leave it like this, just going with 8. We're also going to have to change a little bit on different areas, but I think that is fine, just 8, 120 frames. And you know what, let's go switch to MOV to MP4 and export now. Okay, so let's look what's happening when we slow down. One thing what I want to point on this video, I was just increasing frame rate, so we did not specify any slowdown, and that is keep it about the same time. So next video, this one, It's where, if you remember, right here, I says 8 times slow. So it is actually increasing slow as well as changing some of the frame range. And if we go check, you can see how long. Wow, look on this. That is quite a bit long as well happening. And we can look also on each frame, because it does increase frame. Look on this. We're using fast, and see, no problem with hand here. You remember before other ones had problem with the hand. This one, look at this. It does not have any problem with the hand. So let's go ahead and just preview on the beginning. See how slow it's work. Actually right here, I just see a little bit. I think problem right there was on the hand. Let's go down right there, see? Yeah, it does, but it's not like before. It's much smoother and better working. Okay, so we increase our slow motion. Let's play. Way slow. This is beautiful slow motion. Okay, let's go jump. Yeah, see how frame? And nice thing, because it is insert properly framing. It's look very smooth. So I do like how it's work. It is performed very nicely with the frame interpolations. Let's stop it. Let's go with hands, and we're going frame per frame. You can see right there. See how each frame going. So yeah, it is insert those frames. It wasn't before. And we can actually look right there. If we go down, you know what, let's go bring our other files. So we'll have it our original. We go and putting right here, original file. And we can also try to increase speed. We can compare right here. We're just changing speed. This is does not insert frame. So this is just a kind of split, and we'll take our speed. And let's go to slow down. Okay, I think it's about that. And this is what you usually see. See how frames jumping? Oop, sorry, right here. See how it's jerky going? Okay, let's move back. And you can see this is frame per frame. This is what happened if you try to slow down without frame interpolations. And you can see just stop, pause, stop, pause. So with frame interpolations, it is insert frame between them. So it's created. And this is what creating the smooth and nice adjustments. Yeah, look on this, how on the background, how smooth and nice it's going. It did a real impressive job for the slow motion. I'll give you a small interesting thing, share with you how I like to do some effects. So you can go in a place like Envato Elements or other things. You can buy nice sunset, landscapes, waterscapes, which is not very long. You can put them there, make the longer slow motion video, add music, and have beautiful background relaxation videos that you can even post on YouTube if you need it. Okay, if we go back right here, you'll see I put it slow motion. So you could change it just the frames, but remember, if you just change the frames, you'll have it like right here. You have it. You can increase still slow motion, but this is the just changing on frame rates, not change the time. And if you select your slow motion here, it actually will stretch in the time. So you still render those frames, but they only reposition them properly in the time. I think it's about all what I want to show you today. We gone over our stabilizations, we gone over the interpolations, scale, and all this other stuff. It is become a little bit long video, and if you stay all the way to the end, I greatly appreciate it, because it's helpful a lot for the YouTube channel, you know, to grow. It depends how long people watching the videos. So hope this helpful. I will definitely work more and give you more tips and kind of little hits how to readjust and creating best settings for the specific scenario. And your answer is this way: does it worth it personal for me every penny? And I provide link down below for you so you can go check by yourself. If you like it, you can purchase. Check, sometimes they have it on sale, usually like Christmas time or around, I think right now coming holidays, almost upfront of every holiday, they have it good sale on the video. Well, thank you again for watching this video. Hopefully you found this interesting, entertainment, and most important, it give you the best knowledge. Share, like, subscribe. Thank you again, and have a great day.
Wait, you're on a non-civilian frequency, civilian. We'll assume that's a mistake. Correct it.